Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Bon Boscher, and today I want to show you how we can make a custom arpeggiated gate device using the alligator filter gate and the RPG8 arpeggiator in Reason. The track that you just heard was something I just made for this tutorial real quick, but I want to show you how you can make this device from scratch. And it's a very interesting way to create a lot of new cool effects. It's really cool. So let's get started real quick. I did copy and paste the loop that I was using from the thing you just heard over to a new project here, and I just want to play it out real quick to give you an idea of what the dry loop sounds like. So this is what it sounds like. So it's pretty straightforward. I did pitch it down a bit, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So what we're gonna do first is if you don't know how to get here, let's just right click on our new rack and let's create a combinator, and then right click in the combinator and create a Dr. Octarex loop player. Now the thing is that I'm just using a loop. You can use this for any instrument. There are no right or wrong answers. So whatever works for you is what works best. But for this example in particular, I'm using a Rex loop. But anyway, what we're going to do first is we're going to right click on it, and we're going to create an alligator filter gate effect on it. And it'll obviously route, just press tab to flip the rack if you don't know. And it routes automatically main output to the input, and then main output of the alligator to the combinator. And the pattern is automatically on. So what we're going to do is we're going to click that off to deactivate it. One thing I do want to mention on any device is right clicking and resetting the device or initializing the patch depending on what version of Reason you're using. So make sure to do that so you get a clean slate. Now on this alligator here, I'm also going to deactivate the filters on the high band and low pass because we don't want to necessarily set any particular settings on this, just because we're trying to use it as like a strict gator with no extra effects. But this is just for the example. You can always click and activate and use whatever you want, the phasers, the delay, the drive, whatever you decide. So what we're going to do next is we're going to right click on here, and we're going to create a RPG8 monophonic arpeggiator. You can hold shift or you can just click on it and create it, either way. Press tab, let's flip the rack. Now by default it does route to the Octarex, so what we can do is just click and drag these cables off so they're gone. And what I'm going to do next is I have the gate CV out here. This is what's going to essentially control when these three gates on the CV input of the alligator get activated. Gate 1, Gate 2, and Gate 3 are high pass, band pass, and low pass respectively. So when this arpeggiator triggers one of these gates, we'll hear a signal through the dictated frequencies here. But yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So before we do that though, we're going to split this signal. So on the arpeggiator, we're going to right click and create a utility, a Spider CV merger and splitter. And click and drag just for brevity's sake here. I'm going to take the output, the gate CV out velocity of the RPG8 here, and we're going to split this signal here, split A. We're going to split this signal into gate 1, second split signal into gate 2, and the third gated signal into gate 3. And then we're going to press tab to flip the rack once more. We're going to right click, and we're going to create a track for Arpeggiator 1. Now, what we're going to do next, we're going to go back to the rack. And if we were to play this, I do believe nothing would play out. I actually didn't experiment with this, but let's see if anything does play out. Hold on. Okay, as I thought, nothing would play out because nothing's triggering any notes for the gator or anything. So, what we're going to do is, if you notice here on the alligator, it says gate 1 MIDI note A sharp 1, MIDI note G sharp 1, MIDI note F sharp 1. These are the notes on a piano roll that activate each gate with that note respectively. So, like how we created a track for ARP1, we're going to right click on the alligator and create a track for it as well. And then what we're going to do is go back to the rack, and we're going to flip it back over, and we're going to we're going to go back to the sequencer here, and we're going to create just a chord of those notes. So we're going to go to F sharp 1. Actually, no, we're not going to type it. We're going to just click and drag. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. G sharp 1, and then A sharp 1. We're going to extend this all the way through, just for 8 bars. And then we're going to have the arpeggiator activate the notes. So, like we did here, we have the gate out going to each gate of the high band and low pass filters. And with just a normal 1 octave, no insert, up arpeggiated pattern, this is what we get. It's very, very, very loud. And there's a reason for that. Because we have to turn down the volume of the alligator. Since we're essentially dictating all the volume through the arpeggiator, we have to be very careful with this. So, turn it down to about 21 to start, and then go wherever you like with it. But let's take another listen here with a little more reasonable volume settings. So as you can see, they're all getting triggered at the same time. That's because we kind of split each signal into each gate here. But what else we can do is we can activate a pattern, and then let's just create a random pattern here. We can click shuffle, and then we can turn down the gate length, and we can even change the insert. We can also change the arpeggiated note pattern as far as if it goes down or up. So if we do this, and then go back to the rack, let's take a listen to what we have now. So it's very short, it's very choppy. But what you can do is you can go in the amp envelope of the alligator and increase the amp envelope release, the amp envelope attack. You can do whatever you want in here. It's completely up to you. But the cool part is that now that we have like an arpeggiated pattern that we like, right? We're going to right click and we're going to arpeggio the notes to the track. We're going to turn off the arpeggiator and we're going to go back to our rack. When we go back to our sequencer, I should say, not our rack. Now, since we have these notes here, we're going to go to the track that we created for the alligator, and we're going to take those arpeggiated notes that we have, and each note will trigger a different band. So let's take a listen, shall we? But before we do that, let's go here, press escape, get this out of here. Let's also make sure, just in case, that our arpeggiator is off. And then one more time. Okay, so let's take a listen real quick. So now, as you heard, only one band is getting activated when one note's being played. You can obviously layer the notes on top of each other so you can get each band playing at the same time, but this is just an example of what's possible right here. So it's a really cool technique to use to get a lot of cool, like granular, kind of not granular, but gated texture underneath something, or make it like its own thing as a lead or like the main, element of a track, kind of like what I did for the example. But it's a very simple technique that can really get things going for you. And you can essentially audition it with the arpeggiator and then copy the notes and then make it however you want. So it's completely up to you how you do this. And again, you can also keep the arpeggiator on and then you don't have to draw any notes, or other than just making that chord with the notes that are activated by the actual alligator. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. It's a very cool technique. So thank you so much. Now, if you like the video, please give it that thumbs up so that more people can get this information and learn more. We're all here to learn. That's what we're trying to do. But I'll be coming out with more of these. Took a small break, but we're back on it. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, hanging out. We are out of here. Hope you have a good one. See you next time.